Um, we are living times of revelation, what the Christians call the apocalypse, which means the revelation, but simply a world spirit is becoming conscious of itself, which is actually my spirit. And I have tried to communicate for years, then I forgot or I deluded myself. And for the past 6 months on this channel, and I have failed to communicate and but I partly understand why. So I will publish, as long as I publish video on the channel Eternal Light, I will stop publishing videos on this channel. I will not suppress any video. My intellectual development goes so fast. There are so many contradictions, I try to anticipate, I try to think about everything. I have reached a point where I'm starting to partly sink into insanity. It's still relatively controlled, but for the simple reason that 4 years ago, when I identified with God, the knowledge, when I am honest at the highest level, the knowledge that reality, the objective world, is a product of my consciousness, although they reciprocally interact with one another, but basically that I am the consciousness of reality. This knowledge, this certainty, I cannot, no matter how hard I might try to stabilize everything, and I still do in a way. I will not publish completely reckless, ludicrous mood shifts as long as I don't have to, but I have tried to overthink, to outthink who? God, I guess, but it's impossible. So reality is just way too complex, it goes way too fast, and I will not give up on, because I can't, that's how I spontaneously function, but I'm starting to let go of the attempt to control everything intellectually. I do not edit my video any longer, or if I do, it's really, I did this for 2 very long videos that I published on the channel Eternal Light, which are really important, but I have just decided to let go, because I am not, as an empirical individual, I am not God, or not yet, or not, I cannot completely, because whatever God maybe is a pure mind, but I know that the mind of God lives in me. That's my 30-70% theory, and I try to anticipate, but then I realized recently that the level of consciousness of others is so far removed, even the most intelligent. My truth has become way too complex, so I'm not saying that I will just simplify. I have decided to share my knowledge as long as I could. I have shared almost all my documents that I found relevant. I have shared my address. I have shared aspects of my personal life, embarrassing things. I try to let go of the will to organize and systematize everything. I speak normally. I do not edit my video any longer. So I'm not giving up on what I value, namely German rigor and systematicity, but simply I understand that there are processes at work in the world, and that trying to anticipate and understand and anticipate everything, it's simply too difficult on an intellectual level, and whatever I do, I have to suffer. So what I can do is I share my light, I try to share links, connections, I will publish video as long as I can. Here I'm really in a mood to work constantly. I still have to sleep, otherwise I really become insane, but I have understood that I might be negated at any moment in the coming days or weeks. Actually, I don't know, and it has become so complex. I have shared documents on this channel, but also on the channel Eternal Light, that the purpose of these documents is that the substance, namely others, take these documents and improve them. This is how the mind of God has to work. Namely, if I stay alone in my apartment and if I try to collect all the data, which I did up until a couple of days ago, but basically I will share now. I will make shorter videos. I will still try to share my categories, because I really believe. What do you believe in? In the categories? No, seriously. I do. Namely, spontaneously, when I use technical terms, I try to translate in categorical language, but as long as I have my table board, I don't know for how long, I will draw my categories just so that. But I will stop the over complexification, because I will be honest with myself. Whatever I do, I have to suffer. I have tried to overthink, but then I come back to fundamental question: what is important? I have given the answer. The most important for me is the tender love that I felt. This is my most powerful feeling. But there are many other aspects of God that I have come to love, but there are so many contradictions. Like, I thought that I had to negate myself completely because I am the negative and I am evil, which it's still the case, but I have grown to start to appreciate some of aspects of me. When I look back on some of my videos, there are intelligent things that I say, jokes that I find funny, so I try to be honest, knowing that there are contradictions that at my level of consciousness it's simply too difficult. I will let others tell me who I am. As long as I can share, I will share light. I've shared. And I will still do. I said that I would. I didn't do this on all the videos, but the videos that I post, I will share my books. I cannot. Maybe at some level, at some moment, I will be so smart in whatever mode of being that I will be able to control the minds of all the individuals. But as of now, with my limited empirical cognitive abilities, even if with my very high IQ and my Protestant work ethic. Well, for a few months I have worked very hard, but I cannot control everything, so I just share the links. I know that as of now it's completely useless because there are 30 or 40 persons who watch my videos, but precisely I have done on the channel Eternal Light 2 videos, the Central Intelligence Agency, the German CIA, and the presentation of the spiritual life of the US and the European gods and goddesses, where it was really structured partly. I mean, the CIA, it's a systematic commentary, it's the fruit of months and years of intellectual work. If I find myself in a situation where I can improve these documents, I will, but I have given, the story that I tell myself now is I have planted the seeds of light. I haven't suppressed any video except one, or except those that I cannot upload, but I haven't suppressed any video. There are videos or documents that I haven't shared, but I will not consciously, I mean, I have done this document, but I will not share them because precisely my mental faculties, my mental development goes so fast that from one day to the next, 1 week to the next, my views change, the way I understand myself changes. So I don't know if everything, all the thoughts, the errors, the delusions are stored in the cosmic mind. I don't know, that would be weird, but I want to struggle and fight, not physically but spiritually and cognitively, and for what I believe is good. And I know myself to be part evil, so I have to negate myself, but I still want to preserve what is best in me. The way I understand myself, we are the 21st of September, it's the middle of the afternoon. I am responsible for all, that's really what I think as of now. I am responsible for all the negative things in reality. I cannot deny that they exist, but then I can accept or refuse some aspects more, and there are really things in reality that I find repulsive. That's a logical determination. I won't pretend that it does not exist, but there are aspects that I want to erase. Not by pretending that it hasn't happened. If I am accused, I would say, okay, it's part of my reality, and probably it's part of really the levels of whatever, the mind of the abyss. It's within the totality, but now I will try to just to share the links, which I have done in my most recent video on the channel Eternal Light, where I show most of my books, not all of them, but most of them, to show the process. It's simplified with images. I genuinely thought on an empirical level that I had to make lectures to explain in full detail why the bureaucracy doesn't function, why the educational system is broken. But I realized that if I do this, if I try really to provide a rigorous and very complex, it can be satisfying and enlightening, a very complex explanation of the structure of reality. Reality moves so fast, and with all the tensions and the problems coming from everywhere, I just let go. The story that I tell myself to keep my mental sanity, because I know that I am the negative, which is evil, which is what the religions call Lucifer, or Loki for the pagans, or the devil, or whatever. I have always needed this to remain mentally balanced, that there is not just negativity, so I need to do good. And here I'm not in a mood to make a joke, but maybe that's a cunning of reason in a Christian way, namely that I feel guilty, so I try to do good. And if when others get rid of me, it will happen, and the others are a part of me, if it can happen in a sense that, okay, I've made my part of the contract. I'm not sure that it's a contract, but basically I try to share light. And now I have really done my part of the job. But here I think now, sometimes I thought of myself as being alone as God, but then I when I decline, or when I come back to sanity, I don't know, I think of myself as the negative versus the substance. As the negative, as just maybe I have done what I could on an intellectual level without consciously planning this. It has been the circumstances. So my video about the CIA, really, it's the method of knowledge. Now what I think is good is just to try to slow down the tempo, to free as many people as possible. Namely that they are very difficult, we are going through very difficult times. There are many broken institutions, and I'm kind of it's so try to say, is it broken because of me? At some level it has to be. How did it come? Was it planned from the beginning? Is it planned afterward? This is Wechselwirkung. I'm kind of sick of overthinking about all this, so I just, because I don't want to make too long videos, but there's the theoretical aspect, maybe to try to grasp reality as it is, but reality is constantly changing, and sharing one's own knowledge changes reality. The very basic example here, it's not very efficient, but to understand that the welfare state doesn't work, it requires a lot of cognitive effort, because there has to be to understand intellectually, to grasp the determination, reading book, watching video, etc., collecting statistics. So that's the first thing. The same goes for the educational system. But once one has understood this, incorporated the theoretical aspect, if one shares one's knowledge with others, reality is being modified. There is an interaction. And trying to think about how reality is, how it is once one becomes aware of this, how it is for others once one has shared the knowledge that one had about the reality. Hegel does this in the introduction of the Phenomenology. I have been maybe guilty of doing this at some moment, but there are problems everywhere. My motto now is, as long as I can peacefully work, which I don't know how long it will last, I will try to share light by making shorter videos with, I still have a few tricks up my sleeve to make the study of categories attractive, but I will not do this on this channel, because I share content which will be more and more controversial, because there are contradictions within reality, and I try to struggle. I will just conclude with it. I try to struggle and fight for what I think is good, because even if I am the negative, I suffer from evil, and I want to abolish evil, namely abolish myself, and in order to have a sense of self-worth, I have to imagine myself as sharing either light or knowledge in the good sense, or whatever. So yeah, I will keep working after just a couple of hours of rest. I will no longer edit my video, except if I have to. I will shorten my videos to make them more accessible. I will go back to the basics, because I have published really the most. My video about the CIA, this is the most cognitively demanding that I could provide, given all the circumstances. There are so many contradictions in me and in reality. It moves so fast. I don't really know completely who or what I am allowed or not allowed to do. My next videos will be on the channel Eternal Light, and